Okay, here's a quick tip how you can keep your carving tools really nice and sharp, and this is called honing. What I've got here is my machine that I use for honing my tools. It's a grinder and polisher. This one is actually just built specially to run backwards. Most grinders, bench grinders, the wheel will be turning this way towards you, so when you're grinding the wheel's coming this way. When you're polishing up your carving tools, you don't want that, you want it to run the other way. This one is just built that way, but you can do it with it. If you've got a bench grinder, all you need to do is take these guards off the sides, swap them around, and then you'll be working from the back side of it effectively. The only difference is your start button will then be at the back as opposed to at the front, but you'll be working, the wheels will be running away. So it can be done with any bench grinder. This one was just actually just built specially for this job. And what I've got on here is these are polishing mops, they're called, but they're hard felt wheels that are stitched, and one has got slightly more give to it than the other. So the one that's harder I tend to use for the flatter tools like this one, for polishing those, and then the one that's got a little bit more give I'll use for tools that have got more of a profile, so easier to get the sort of the sweep round when you're sharpening, and also sort of specialist tools like V tools and things like that we use on there. I have got obviously some stones, wet stones, and I've got a diamond stone as well, but to be honest they hardly ever see the stones. I've only had to sort of regrind them on the stones once or twice. Once when I dropped one on the floor and chipped it, and then I had to regrind it, and once on another one was actually a bit worn out, but that was after many months, probably years of use. What I tend to do is just regularly, every 30 minutes to an hour of actual carving time that the tools had, depending on what wood you're working with as well. It might vary. When I used to carve oak, I was probably 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes I'd be coming back and honing the tools because they were dulling. The oak I was working with was so hard. But certainly with the lime wood that I use, you can easily carve for an hour at a time before they need a bit of honing again. So all you do, if you get these polishing wheels, you can also fit these into power drills as well. You can get them that fit on a shank on a power drill, so you can pop your power drill in the vise, and you can work that way. And you can get different variations. You can get leather strop wheels as well. So these ones are just felt stitched wheels, and then you get this compound, which is a cutting compound, cutting and polishing compound that you use with it. And all you need to do is work with the angle of the wheel, and you want to reproduce the angle that you've got on your sharp tool, so you want to keep that angle there. And obviously you've got to work with the profile as well, so this is not dead flat, so I have to sort of a little bit of a twist with it as well as we go along. And obviously the deeper the profile, you'll be twisting more around like that to get just basically to get it to polish this edge up here. So you start it up, you pop a little bit of the compound on, and then simply we're going to try and just replicate that there on the wheel. Try to move this guard up out of the way so you can see a little bit. Up there, and then we just simply work with that. So that's that. You can see there's a little bit of compound, you see where it's been wiping away there. So what I tend to do then, obviously if you were leather stropping, you strop both sides, because you build up a tiny little burr, you cut away a tiny little burr. I mean, it's microscopic, you probably can't see it, but you don't really want that left on there. So what I tend to do then is just literally touch it across the edge, across there, and then just do the same with the back side as well, on the corner there. And that does the same effect as you would stropping with a leather strop. That is all that will need to be kept nice and sharp. I'm pretty sure if we look at this now, I'll just show you, I can just take a tiny little bit off. Yeah, you see that's pretty sharp. And that's how you do it. If you keep doing that regularly, checking your tools and just honing them, you will hardly ever need to get them on the grinder or on the stones. As I say, unless you're working with a very, very hard wood, or you accidentally chip the blade, if you're working with recycled materials and you hit a piece of metal or something, a nail or something that's in the timber, you might chip your tool and then you have to grind. But up to that point you shouldn't really need to grind them at all. So that's the quick and easy way of doing that. Let me show you how I can use my honing machine to sharpen even a very, very blunt tool. Now hopefully you can see the edge of the blade here on this curved tool. This is a tool I picked up second hand, and it actually had a chip on the end, so I've reground the angle back, and just with quite a coarse stone I've done that, and as you can see the edge is still quite rough there. We haven't got a particularly sharp edge. I mean, I can even feel it with my finger. It's not sharp. I mean, to show you, it would still cut, just it won't cut very well. See how it struggles to cut through the wood there, and you don't get a very good finish. So this is nowhere near where we need it to be. So I'm just going to use the honing tool, the polishing machine, to really take that edge up. Now I have got water stones and things like that where I could do this, get this a much better finish by hand, but I think we'll find that the polisher with the compound will even be able to work from that and get us a nice edge on that. So I'll show you how we do that. Start the machine, a little bit of the compound on there, and then we can polish the blade up. You need to keep that angle that we've already ground on. And as you can see, I'm rolling it to keep the same curvature as the blade. So as you push it on, you need to roll it and try and keep that same curve of cut. I might just apply a little bit more. Normally a few seconds would be enough if they're kept sharp for the honing, but as this one's quite rough, probably going to need to do it a couple of times. So Isn't that a wipe off? So hopefully you should be able to see the polish, the shine on that edge now, how that's really polished that up. I can feel the end now is really razor sharp, and we can tell just by cutting through the ease at which it cuts through the wood. And you can see, you can usually tell by the finish that the cut gives. Should be a very nice clean cut. If you get a nice clean cut, it means your tools are sharp. So that's the quick and easy way of keeping your tools razor sharp. I hope that's been of some help.